Hello guys, this is Oroth and a warm welcome back to my channel. I've been away for quite some time because I've been moving to a new apartment, so that took a few weeks to handle that, and I've also had some vacation that I really needed. But now I'm back and I'm able to share another Demon Hunter PvP build with you guys. Let us take a look at the skills I'm using for this build. I'm using a crossbow shot as primary attack, but I'm not gonna use it a lot. I'm using Sentry, I'm using Strafe, I'm using Knife Trap, and I'm using Daring Swing. So let's first take a look here on my helmet. I use Bore at the Door, and what it says is that Sentry now summons an untargetable shadow turret at a targeted location that attacks nearby enemies. And yeah, I've shown this before, but these sentries, they can't take damage, so they are very good to put down behind enemy lines. If we go to the next essence, it's the chest piece, and here I use Scatter Discipline. And what it says is that Strafe critical hit chance increased by 38% against enemies with less than 50% health. So compared to the previous build that I uploaded, I'm no longer gonna be using Vengeance, and therefore I can replace the chest, and I use Scatter Discipline because critical hit chance is always very good, and it's a great way to increase the damage done by my strafe summons that I will show a little bit later. In my shoulder slot I use Waltz on Shattered Glass, and what it says is that knife traps triggered near a sentry grant that sentry 40% increased attack speed for 4.8 seconds. And what's good to know about this is that it doesn't increase the attack speed by only my sentries, they also increase the attack speed of the strafe summons. So if you look now, if I put down a summon and then I use one of these knife traps, you will see this tornado under the summon, indicating that it also triggers on the strafe summon. If we look in the next slot, which is the pant slot, I use Dancing in Place. And what it says is that Knife Trap now becomes a snare trap when triggered, and the snare trap deals damage to all nearby enemies while also immobilizing them and preventing the use of dash skills for 4 seconds. And what's really good to mention here is that a while back they changed how knife traps works. So now if you put down a knife trap, it will trigger immediately when someone is stepping on it. And you can also aim on someone, so if you have a barbarian standing here, for example, you can just let go and the barbarian will not be able to move. So it's very, very effective to lock people in place, so they will continue to take damage from both your teammates and from your summons. It's also a perfect tool to hinder your enemies from reaching the idols. So we're gonna look at some games later on, but if we go and put down knife traps in front of the idol, they will not be able to reach it quite often. So it's a very good control tool. I really like it a lot. In the first main hand we use Turmoil, and what it does is that it gives the strafe some rockets that shoots, and they are like heat-seeking missiles, so that's very nice. I use in the first offhand Fallow Farm just to get the strafe summons. I use Unrelenting Furor in the second main hand for some extra duration of the strafe summons, and I also use One's Own Fusillade in the second offhand to let my sentries apply a debuff to the target, making them take a lot or a little bit more damage. So let's take a quick look on the set piece I'm using. I'm using 4 Piece of Grace, and the 2 piece effect will increase the damage done by all of my dot effects. But the 4 piece effect is even more important. It says that each time you damage an individual enemy 5 times, you will do additional damage to that enemy. And important to mention here is that the attacks from your summons, they will not trigger this effect, but the dot effects, they will trigger it. And what's also good about this effect is that whenever it happens, it will interrupt someone trying to heal. So let's take a look at the effect. If I'm attacking this target here, you will be able to see that there's like a lightning coming from above, and this lightning will deal damage, and it will also interrupt someone trying to bandage. So it's super annoying. It will give you a lot of dot kills, and it will also just disrupt the enemies when they're falling back trying to heal. Then they get interrupted, and they will lose a lot of time because they will either not be able to go on the offense again, or they will just die. So it's a very good and annoying tool. I use 2 pieces of Baron to prolong all the harmful effects, just to make these grace effects occur for an even longer time. So a very good option for this build. And finally, I also use 2 pieces of Vitus Urge to prolong beneficial effects. What's also important to mention is that we are also, if you remember, using the knife traps that immobilizes, and this is also a good reason to use 2 pieces of Baron, because yeah, whenever they step on it, the immobilize effect will last a lot longer. You could also use 4 pieces of Baron with this build. It works very well. You could also use 2 pieces of Banquet of Ice instead of Vitus Urge if you would like to. So feel free to play around a little bit. So let us take a look at the legendary gems I'm using. I'm using Seeping Bile, Viper's Bite, Blood-Soaked Jade, Starfire Shard, Roiling Consequence, Bloody Reach, Maw of the Deep, and Everlasting Torment. So as I've mentioned, this is a build that utilizes a lot of dot effects. So if you see here, I have Seeping Bile, Viper's Bite, Roiling Consequence, and Everlasting Torment. This is a very good legendary gem package if you want to try out different dot builds. It's very strong in PvP, especially coupled with the 4-piece grace effect that we already talked about. I of course also use Blood-Soaked Jade to give me some extra movement speed and some damage increase. I also use Bloody Reach, which is super strong with summon builds because the effect is triggered twice on your summons, so that's a very easy option to include. And also if we look at Starfire Shard and Maw of the Deep, they are just annoying. They do a little bit of extra damage. So yeah, these are optional. If you need more survivability, you could perhaps replace them with Frozen Heart and Spiteful Blood or something else. So feel free to experiment a little bit. But these are the legendary gems I'm using right now for this setup. If we go and check on the Paragon, this is my favorite setup for PvP. I use these 4 here at the bottom right, which is the old champion effects. So I use Juggernaut, Overpower, Grizzled Veteran, and To the Victor. And finally I use Sheet Death. Important to mention here is that Swift Strikes increase attack speed, and attack speed is very good, but it will not increase the attack speed of your summons, so therefore you should not use Swift Strikes. So that's just a quick look at my Paragon setup. Let's also take a quick look on my familiar. I'm of course using a familiar with Savior, and I have maximum resilience, so I have 60% cooldown on this Savior. I also prefer to use the Ash Sweeper above the Cat, because when I play this build, I don't really need that much more survivability. What I need is because I will stay away from the enemy. So what I need is more ways to disrupt the enemies, and the active skill of the Ash Sweeper is preferable in my opinion. So these are the familiars. And yeah, let's take a quick look on my secondaries as well. If we look here on my attributes, we can see that I have focused a lot on potency, because potency also increases the harmful effects. So this is what the build looks like, and it's similar to the previous video I released, but with the knife traps now we have an extra tool of control. So let us jump straight into some gameplay here, and in the first game here we play as offense, and we're gonna see how this build works. So first of all, what's good to mention here is that you can see this barrier here. Usually we can't put down summons through it, but you can actually put down your knife traps through barriers. So both through defensive barriers and through offensive barriers. So this is good to know. Now I've already told you in previous videos, but what's very important with this build is that you have great map awareness. So now we always have to look on the minimap. And I am trying to look on the minimap almost 95% of the time while playing. So now we can see that there are some enemies approaching from the front, but we also have some enemies in our spawn, and they might come and attack us from behind, so we have to be ready to have an escape route all the time. So I'm trying to both put down my knife traps defensively if someone tries to chase me, and also offensively. So I can have 3 knife traps up at the same time, so I can really use different types of strategy when it comes to trap placement. Now we are pushing on this side quite well, so if I'm able to put down a lot of knife traps in front of the idol, they will not be able to reach it, so I can lock them in place before they reach it. And you could also see there that they were pivoting from the other side and they were attacking through the middle corridor. That's why I fell back, so I didn't get trapped in between the groups of enemies. And patience is a virtue, so there is no point in stressing. We have good control of this game, so it's okay to fall back, to not die, because if I die, I'm away from the game. It will not be that helpful, so it's better to fall back a little bit, and then we push when the timing is right. So now we can push again, and I'm gonna go and try to place some knife traps far ahead, because now if they are coming here, they will have huge trouble to get out. As you can see there, he got stuck on my knife traps, and when they get stuck, they also get stuck exactly where my summons are, so they will take a lot of damage, not only from me but also from my teammates. So just like with the previous summons build that I've highlighted, the play style here is to poke with my summons and then fall back, because I'm not gonna use my primary attack a lot. Now I don't want to overextend, so I just fall behind. My goal here is to apply pressure to the enemies all the time. So in order to do so, I have to stay alive, no stress. And I've been talking a lot about this before. Every different build and every different class has different roles. So some classes, they are meant to push the idol, stand on the idol. Some are meant to attack the enemy backline. Some are meant to just deal a lot of DPS. So you have to know what is your role, and you should play accordingly. I often see a lot of people, they are maybe overextending a lot because they're not checking the minimap, but they're also running to the idol to push it, even if they are a wizard, for example, or a demon hunter like me. If I step on the idol here, I will be dead in less than a second, most of the time. So play smart and don't do anything stupid. And yeah, what's good about this game is that we both we pushed both of the sides all the time. That's very, very important. I think that we had a good team here. We were a little bit stronger, so it was difficult for the enemies to defend. But yeah, we did a good job. They tried to go to both sides, but yeah, we just outpowered them this game. So what was good and what made it easier for us was that since we managed in our team to apply this much pressure to the enemies, we could also step in front of the idol and put down our knife traps. So now let's look on the second game. Now we are playing in defense. So yeah, here we have a good choke point in the first phase. If we are able to stall them out here a little bit, that's a good thing. And the knife traps I can put here in this gate here, if they want to try to walk through it, they often get stuck on those knife traps. And now I fall back, I see that we're outnumbered, and I want to stay alive because I want to be able to apply pressure into this second choke point now. So what you want to do is that you want to put down your knife traps as far ahead as possible, and as I said before, you can even place the knife traps in front of the barrier. You can't put your summons inside the spawn now when we stepped out, but we can still put the knife traps there if we get close enough. But of course we have to be careful. We don't want to get too close and get stuck, because yeah, then we will die quite fast because we're squishy. So now we want to stall both of the idols, of course, as much as possible. Now on the left side here, they have not been able to activate it. And just with the previous summon builds, it's a very, very efficient build to hinder the enemies from activating the idols. Now we have to fall back a little bit, and they will probably be able to activate it. But maybe we can show in this game how well this build can stall. And you can also see there that it took quite some time for them to activate it. It was also thanks to the Grace, because Grace does not only interrupt bandage, it also interrupts the activation of idols. So also an excellent and neat addition why 4 Pieces of Grace is so good. Here I don't like this, because now we've successfully been able to defend the left side. It's okay, of course we have to keep defending the right side as well, but often now, I've said this before, that now they've been able to push the right side a little bit, then people start to panic, and they start to write that everyone should go to the right. You can see now there's like huge exclamation marks, but this is very good. If we can just stall the left side, they will not be able to push the right side. And here we can also probably see that my summons can force them off the idol here. So this is very good build for defense. And I'm gonna stay here because, as I said, if I just manage to keep them from walking this idol, we will win this game. I'm quite sure of it. Ooh, and now, okay, now I'm in huge trouble. I get stuck. Yeah, I don't have daring swings either. And this guy, he's very high resonance, so I'm probably gonna die. Yeah, that's it. And now it's important to always check the minimap to try to balance the sides. Because now, since they had pushed the right side a little bit further, it's quite often that I'm alone on the left side, and if I die, they will start walking the left side for free because no one is pivoting to that side. So, yeah, my strong recommendation is that as a defending team, if you're able to stall one of the idols until the very end, you will almost never lose, because it's very difficult for the offense to push an idol the last final push if it's only one of them that's pushed far. So it's quite a close game here. We have 2.5 minutes to go, so I think that we should be able to make it. And I'm just gonna keep staying here on the left side.
I'm not ready yet.
Okay, let's not. You can see I'm always trying to keep a safe distance. I put down my summons, I put down my knife traps, and then I fall back all the time. And I'm doing this while looking at the minimap all of the time. Now it's 2 minutes to go, and no one is trying to push the left side. I think we're gonna win this game because it's almost impossible to push one side only.
Discipline, remember?
I will probably die. I have some knife traps, I can defend myself here. Ooh, almost. Okay, yeah, now it's only 1 minute to go. Now we can probably all of us go to the right side. So, yeah, this looks like a win. And maybe it's not 100% clear while watching this, but I think that the fact that we managed to stall the left side this long gives us the win for sure. Because if someone wouldn't be there stalling on the left side, they would be able to push both of the idols this far, and then we have to split in the end. So don't stress if one of the sides is pushed. It's not a big deal. And yeah, most of your teammates will not think like this. So if you are thinking like this, you should always try to defend the side that's not pushed far. So in this case, I can remain on the left side even though the right side is pushed, because yeah, they will most likely be able to defend if they are up against, if they are like 6-7 people in my team fighting against 4 or 5 people from their team. And with this build, I can often defend one of the sides alone against 2 or 3 players. If it becomes more than that, then it will be a problem. And often I can see that people are maybe fighting 7 versus 4 on one side instead of pivoting to the other side. So, like I said, try to look all of the time on the minimap and try to make informed decisions. So here we are again in defense. Let's see how we fare this time. If we're able to maybe lock them into this choke point, it's a good thing. So I'm placing down my knife traps, I'm placing down my summons. I'm trying to time it when I think they will run out of their spawn. And yeah, I don't have to stay close. I just put them down and I can fall back. It might look a bit stupid sometimes, but it's very, very efficient. And that's why this build is also very good to use if you're lower resonance, because you will be impactful even if you're not the strongest. Because if you're very low resonance, you are often very squishy and you will die very fast. And yeah, this is better. To play a build where you can apply pressure without taking damage yourself. And I can see a lot of people, if they are a little bit weaker, like if their character is a little bit weaker, they should maybe opt for builds that are more forgiving for that. And you also have to adapt your play style depending on your own power. So if we look on some of the previous games here, this build has 4.5k resonance approximately, and we are up against players above 10k resonance, and we are performing very well with this build. So resonance is definitely not everything, as long as you play smart. And of course there are some types of builds that requires that you are stronger in order for it to work properly. So yeah, this is my advice, that you should pick a build that's fun, of course, that you enjoy playing, but that's also good for your power level. And yeah, this build is going quite well. As I said, I'm almost able to keep this side alone. They cannot stand on the idol if I place down my summons. And I also put knife traps between the enemies and me, so if they are trying to hunt me down, they will step on my knife trap quite often, and then they will be stuck taking damage from my summons. So this game is looking quite good. No one is trying to push the left side. I should, if the game would be closer, I would probably stay there. Yeah, now I want someone else to go over there. I could have stayed there myself, but yeah, it's a fairly controlled game here, so it doesn't really matter. I have to heal up, and I've said it before. I try to heal up quite often. Whenever I have the chance, I heal up, even if I'm at 75% health. My summons will keep doing damage while I'm using bandage, so yeah, as you can see now, I get interrupted when I'm bandaging because someone else is using 4 pieces of grace, so it's really annoying. And in my opinion, they should nerf it so that it doesn't interrupt bandage. And damage over time effects is very strong in PvP, and yeah, it should be a little bit nerfed in general. Sometimes you get you take one hit from an enemy, and if they are a strong enemy with high resonance and high potency, you will die. It will take you from full HP to 0. And it can remain there till after Gladiator is gone, and then it will kill you. So it should not be this powerful, in my opinion. And I think that one great way to nerf it a little bit is to change the interruption of the grace set. So yeah, I mean, this video is coming to an end. We managed to win this game as well. I hope that it was helpful, that we look on some gameplay. I'm trying to explain as good as I can on how I'm playing this build. And if you're trying a summoner build for the first time, it might be a little bit tricky. I can often see people when they use the summon builds the first few times, they are overextending too much. They are using their primary attacks. They are standing too close to the battle, and they get stunned, or they get pulled in by the barbarians. So I really recommend you to look on my gameplay here and try to replicate it as good as you can. And with practice and by improving your map awareness, you will become better and better. And these archetypes are working superbly lately in Battlegrounds for me.
I'm not ready yet.
I have consistently a win rate around 70% when I use the summon builds, and yeah, it takes me to the high ranks very easy. So yeah, with this being said, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you enjoyed this build. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comment, and if you like the video, please share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel. And before we say goodbye, I would like to wish you a very nice day or a very nice evening wherever you are. And to all of my clan members in Nyx, I would of course also like to say Voruk Nyx, Sholak Sol. So bye bye.
Guess who's back with some brand new content? Hit the bell button, maybe leave a comment. Oroth with the swagger, wanna see his game. Teach you all the secrets, it will be insane. Guess who's back with a brand new lesson? He will have the answer if you have a question. Oroth invites you to his awesome tribe. No more time to waste, it's time to hit subscribe. 1, 2, 3 is the land of our affection. 4, 5, 6 only aiming for perfection. 7, 8, 9 he is 10 out of 10. Subscribe and you will never miss a video again.